Hello everyone. Today's lesson is lesson 37, identifying United States time zones, identifying the time in different parts of the United States. So let's say that it is 9 o'clock our time. Okay, so if we wanted to know what time it was in California right now, it's actually 8 o'clock in California right now. When it is 9 o'clock here, it can be 8 o'clock, it can be 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, okay? Because there are different parts of the United States are in different time zones. There are 6 time zones in the United States, okay? 4 of them are Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific. We also have Hawaiian, and I think the other one is Aleutian, which is Alaskan time zone, okay? All right, so on our map, you can see the different time zones. So we have the states back east are in the Eastern time zone. The ones in the middle are in the Central time zone. We have the Mountain time zone, and we have Pacific time zone. Then we also have the Hawaii and Aleutian time zone and the Alaskan time zone, okay? And the Alaskan time zone is kind of split in half. Okay, so why do you think the time zones have these names? Well, the names of the time zones are based on their locations. So the Pacific time zone are the states that are near the Pacific Ocean, and the Eastern time zone are the states that are on the eastern part of the United States. The Mountain time zone, which is the time zone we're in, is because of the Rocky Mountains that we have located in this area. The Central time zone is because it's right in the central part of the United States. Alaska and Hawaii are in their own time zones, and the Aleutian Islands, which is part of Alaska, that's this part right here, actually is on Hawaiian time zone. So we live, at least where I live, and I'm making this video, is I live in Utah, which is right here. So Utah is part of the Mountain time zone. Okay. So Louisiana, if I wanted to find Louisiana, that's right here. So Louisiana is in the Central time zone. What about Colorado? Colorado's in the Mountain time zone. Washington is in the Pacific time zone. Maine is in the Eastern time zone. Alaska is in the Alaskan time zone. And if we look very carefully, some of these states are split in pieces. So Idaho, you might notice, is in the Pacific time zone and in the Mountain time zone. Okay. Kentucky is also in 2 time zones. It's in the Central time zone and the Eastern time zone. Okay. All right. So each time we move from one time zone to the next, left or west on our map, we subtract 1 hour. So if you look at the times, which are written here, if it is 5 p.m. in the Eastern time zone, as we move to the left, we subtract 1 hour. So Central time zone is 4 o'clock. We keep moving left. Mountain time zone is 3 o'clock. Pacific time is 2 o'clock. Alaskan is 1, and Aleutian is 12 p.m. Okay. If we move to the right, we go 1 hour later. So if it's 2 o'clock p.m. in Pacific and we move to the right, it's 3 o'clock in Mountain, 4 o'clock in Central, and 5 o'clock in Eastern. So moving to the left, we subtract 1. Moving to the right, we add 1. Okay. So let's say that right now in Utah, let's erase all these lines. In Utah, it is 12 o'clock p.m. Okay. What time is it in Hawaii? So in Hawaii, we have to move to the left 2 time zones. 1 and then a second one here. So that means it's going to be 2 hours earlier. So if it's 12 p.m. in Utah, That means that it is 10 a.m. in Hawaii. Okay. What if I want to go from... Now, what if it's 6 a.m. in Salt Lake City, Utah? So if it's 6 a.m. here in Utah, then what time is it over here in New York? Well, we have to go, since we're going to the right, we have to go later. So we're going to add. So we're going to add 1 hour, 2 hours. So if it's 6 a.m. in Utah, that means it is 8 a.m. in New York City. Okay. All right. So let's say I have a sister that lives in Seattle, Washington. Okay. So Seattle, Washington is up here in Washington. What time zone does she live in? Well, if we look, she's in the Pacific time zone. She's going to call me when she gets home from work at 6 p.m. So what time can I expect it to be here when she calls? Well, I'm going to subtract 1 hour to get to Utah time. So that means it's going to be 5 p.m. I did it the wrong way. We're going to add 1 hour. So, no, that's not right. We're going to add 1 hour. So here in Utah, it's going to be 7 p.m. when she calls. Okay. Now let's say I have a brother that lives in Chicago, Illinois. Okay. He lives in the Central time zone. If he's going to call me before he goes to work at 7 a.m., that means I can expect him to call me here in Utah at 6 a.m. Okay. All right. So if we want to say that it is 5 o'clock p.m. in Mountain time zone, Central zone would be 6 o'clock, and Eastern would be 7 o'clock p.m. Because as we go this way, we add hours. Add an hour. But as we go to the left, we're going to subtract an hour. So in Pacific time zone, it would be 4 o'clock p.m. Alaskan, it would be 3 o'clock p.m. In Hawaiian, it would be 2 o'clock p.m. Hey, and that's it for this lesson. Good luck on your homework.